This is Jody from Elements of Wellness, and we do these trainings every other Tuesday. And this is one of the last ones that we're doing this season before we break for the summertime. So I am super excited to have Lisa Callahan with us. Thank you. And Lisa, I always like to start these off with what is going well in your week?
Gosh, what's going well? You know what? It's a lot of it is sort of family related. My son got engaged to his longtime girlfriend a week ago, so that was really fun, and he made it happen so that both the parents could be down there and be part of it. So that was fun. And my husband and I celebrated knowing each other for 40 years this last Sunday. So, I believe everything is, you got to look at everything holistically. Yes, the business is going well. Yes, la, la, la. My health is good. But, right now I'm really focused on the love piece, I guess.
Well, and no, like when we're focused on the love piece, everything else is aligned,
That's a very good point.
right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Like
Yep.
all of a sudden there's abundance in business, there's
Yeah.
abundance in family, there's abundance in friends, there's abundance
Yeah.
in like just air.
I like an abundance of air. Yes.
Right? It's a weekend and need it. Yeah. Okay. So what's going well for me is my daughter graduated from grade 12
I
this
saw that. That's
week.
awesome.
So that
Congratulations.
was, thank you. That was a week of just celebrations. Friday, she got her favorite dinner.
Oh.
Saturday, she was going through it. But she kind of calmed down once
Oh.
the evening came because they do commencement and then they do like all the grad pictures and the
Oh,
formal.
wow.
And then there's a big banquet and celebration in the evening. So it is a day.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, she played the great game of soccer. And then we came back and we had her grad brunch, lupper. It was more of a
Love
lupper.
her. I'm gonna
So
steal
it was
that.
just a weekend of festivities and
Mm.
family coming in from out of town to celebrate her. So again, family, love,
Yeah.
abundance, and just everything seems to be going tickety boo. And it's great, but I am super excited to introduce you. So let me
Okay.
get on that. So Lisa, you are a transformational coach and a sought after speaker and a co-host of the Things We Know, a podcast ranked in the top 10% globally. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And with over 20 years of experience, you have helped thousands of women gain clarity and confidence through your signature transformation for real. Okay. Because everybody says that they're a transformation coach. And then what? So I love that you make that transformation a for real system. And you're a former Weight Watchers leader turned master transformational coach. So Lisa is known for her heart-centered approach and ability to make people feel truly seen and heard. She lives in Los Angeles with her husband and her two kids and is a passionate advocate for the LGBTQ plus rights and women's leadership. And let me just tell you, I just applied for a women's conference in September
Oh.
in Los Angeles. So I'm hoping that I get the gig. And if so, then we're gonna have to get together.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Oh, now I'm super excited. Good luck, good
Yeah,
luck,
you
good luck.
can send the good vibes.
I will, absolutely. That's amazing. Ooh, fun.
Awesome. I know that's also what's going well.
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa, the stage is yours. Tell me what you got.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here today. And I really want to talk about confidence and how it affects our health. But really, it's just confidence overall. So I'm going to start with a quote, which is confidence is not about knowing that you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing that you
Great,
don't
but
have to
I am
compare yourself
excited
to
to
anyone
introduce
at
you.
all.
Let me get on Sorry, it's muting. There we go.
Okay. It's like,
Nope.
who's talking? Sorry, no worries. For me, confidence has not always been automatic. I think I was sort of born this way, but honestly, there's certainly been times that I have walked into a room and sort of felt the urge to shrink, like I had to play small or stay quiet or overcompensate to prove that I belonged. And I think all women have felt that tug of self-doubt that whispers, who am I to be here? What if I don't measure up? So many women have been conditioned to question our worth, to wait for validation, to believe that we have to check every box before we speak up. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't about waiting until you're perfect or until someone else gives you permission. Confidence is about owning who you are, right where you are, and choosing to stand in that power. So today, I want to talk about how we as women can stop asking, am I enough? And instead begin asking, what would it look like if I fully trusted myself? Because the moment we stop waiting for permission and start claiming our space, that's the moment that everything changes. The reality of it is, confidence isn't just a nice to have, it impacts everything: our careers, our relationships, and even our health, which is why we decided to collaborate today. When we feel confident, we are more likely to advocate for ourselves and to pursue opportunities and to create lives that truly reflect who we are. But here's the truth: women are often raised with mixed messages. Be ambitious, but not too ambitious. Speak up, but don't be bossy. Take up space, but stay likable. And if you saw the Barbie movie from a couple of years ago, there is an entire monologue that encapsulates these impossible contradictions perfectly. And so, of course, many of us hesitate. We don't raise our hand in the meeting, even when we know the answer. We downplay our accomplishments to avoid being seen as arrogant. We hold back our ideas until someone else says what we're thinking. We don't question the healthcare professional when they dismiss what we're going through. These patterns aren't about lack of ability or lack of knowledge. They're literally about conditioning. And the cost is high. We have missed opportunities, stalled growth, and the worst part, the constant second guessing of ourselves. But the good news is confidence can be learned. We can rewrite these patterns, replace hesitation with action, and stop measuring ourselves against standards that were never designed for us in the first place. And when we do, the ripple effect is powerful, not only in our own lives, but in the lives of the women who see us model what's possible: our daughters, our nieces, our granddaughters. And that's why building confidence isn't just personal, it's transformational. It's a shift that allows us to show up differently in every room we enter. And it's the foundation for creating change in our lives, our careers, our families, and our communities. So, how do we begin? I personally believe that confidence comes down to three keys: clarity, voice, and courage. Clarity means knowing who you are, what you value, and what you want. When you're rooted in that, decisions become easier and you stop asking, am I enough? Instead, you start asking, is this aligned with who I am? Voice is about speaking up, setting boundaries, and asking for what you need. It's replacing apology with gratitude, honoring your worth, and allowing yourself to take up space without shrinking. And then courage is about taking action before you feel ready. Confidence grows through small risks: raising your hand, sharing your idea, going for an opportunity that scares you. Each time you act in spite of fear, you expand what's possible. And when these three things come together, confidence stops being an abstract idea and instead becomes a daily practice. Confidence matters because when women claim their space fully, everyone benefits: our families, our communities, and even the world. So today I want to start with some big myths about confidence that I want to bust, quite frankly. The first one is that confidence means you have to be the loudest person in the room. Some of the most confident women I know are calm, grounded, and quietly powerful. They don't need to shout or dominate a conversation to be heard. Their presence speaks for them. True confidence comes from an inner steadiness, a sense of knowing who you are and what you stand for. It's the way you carry yourself, the energy you bring, and the assurance that you belong without needing to prove it. The second myth is that confidence is something you either have or don't have. Some people are born with it, but it is also a skill, and it can be built, practiced, and strengthened just like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. So that might look like speaking up in a meeting even when your voice is shaking, or setting a boundary in a relationship, or saying yes to an opportunity that stretches you. Each small act builds your confidence muscle memory. making the next step feel a little easier. And over time, what once felt intimidating becomes second nature, not because you were magically born with confidence, but because you chose to practice it. So I'll give you a quick example from my own life. As you said in my bio, I worked for Weight Watchers. I joined in 2004 as what they called a receptionist. We were the people who waited members and sold products, sort of a behind the scenes role. And I was constantly being asked if I wanted to train to be a leader, the one who stood up in front and facilitated the meeting. But I kept demurring time and time again, saying I was happy where I was, which was true. But luckily, I had a boss who pushed me into the stretch I needed and made me go into leader training in 2010. I was so scared. Talk about like my voice quaking. But I did it anyway. And now here I am 16 years later. I've spoken on stages. I have my own successful podcast. And I even say yes to talks like this.
Mm.
And here's the thing, that's the third myth. Having confidence doesn't mean you'll never feel fear. It means you act anyway, knowing that the fear is simply part of the growth. Fear often shows up when we're stretching into new territory or stepping outside our comfort zone or taking a risk that matters. The presence of fear isn't a signal to stop. I actually think of it as a gift. I think of it as a reminder that you're pushing yourself into your next level. Confident women don't wait for the fear to disappear before they move forward. They learn to carry it with them, to let it sort of ride in the passenger seat without giving it the steering wheel. And each time you take action in spite of fear, you prove to yourself that you're stronger and more capable than you thought. That's where real confidence is born. So, as I said earlier, there are three keys to building sort of unshakable confidence. The first one, again, is clarity, knowing who you are, what you value, and what you want. When you're rooted in that clarity, you no longer need to look outside of yourself for validation. You can measure opportunities, choices, even relationships against your own inner compass. When you know your values, decisions become easier because you have a filter. If it aligns, you move forward. And if it doesn't, you let it go without second guessing yourself. And that shift is powerful because instead of constantly wondering, am I enough? You begin asking, does this fit who I am and the life I want to create? Confidence grows when you trust that who you are is already enough and that your values will always point you in the right direction. The second key is voice, speaking up, setting boundaries, and asking for what you need. Your voice is one of your greatest tools for claiming space in this world. And yet, so many women are conditioned to soften their presence with unnecessary apologies. Sorry to bother you. Sorry I'm late. Sorry, can I say just one thing? And over time, those small words chip away at how we see ourselves and how others perceive us, but more importantly, how we see ourselves. So here's a shift around that. Replace apology with gratitude. Instead of saying, sorry I'm late, try saying, thank you for waiting. Instead of saying, sorry to interrupt, say, I appreciate you making space for me to add this. Gratitude acknowledges others while affirming your right to take up the space. And this small change in language communicates self respect, sets the tone for how others interact with you, and reinforces the belief that your presence is valuable. Over time, these intentional word choices build a stronger, more confident voice and one that doesn't shrink but stands tall. And so finally, we've got courage. Confidence does not grow in your comfort zone. It grows when you're willing to take small, consistent risks, raising your hand when you're unsure of the answer, sharing your idea in a meeting, applying for that opportunity, even if you feel only 60% ready. In fact, waiting till you're 100% certain means you'll likely never move because confidence doesn't come first, action does. And courage is a practice. It's not one big dramatic leap. It's about showing up again and again, even when your voice shakes or your knees are wobbling. Each time you do that thing that scares you, you prove to yourself that fear isn't the end of the story. You expand what's possible for your life and you rewire your belief about what you're capable of. Over time, those small acts of courage add up, transforming not only how others see you, but, and this is key, how you see yourself. So, how do we put this into practice? Because it's one thing to talk about confidence, it's another thing to live it day by day. And the good news is you can start now. You do not need to wait till some perfect moment to begin. You can start building unshakable confidence right now with small intentional steps that add up over time. And since I like threes, I'm going to give you three powerful practices you can start right away. The first one is absolutely a favorite of mine, which is celebrate the small wins. Confidence grows when you recognize your own progress. Jody started this whole thing with what's going well. That starts you right there at a place of confidence. Too often we brush past our accomplishments, telling ourselves, it was nothing, or immediately focusing on the next goal. But each step forward matters. So try writing down three things you're proud of every day, no matter how small. You're building a bank of evidence that you are capable, resilient, and worthy. Maybe you spoke up in a meeting or had a tough conversation. Maybe you just got through a day that felt overwhelming. Over time, this daily habit rewires your brain to notice your strengths instead of your shortcomings. Imagine what it would look like after a month seeing 90 reminders of your own brilliance. It kind of becomes impossible to argue with your growth. The second one is stand tall. Your body language is a direct line to your confidence. The way you carry yourself doesn't just influence how others see you, it influences how you feel about yourself. So, shoulders back, chin up, steady eye contact, these small physical shifts to your brain that you are safe, capable, and ready. It's called embodied confidence, and science shows that it works. Before a presentation, an appointment with a healthcare provider, or even a hard conversation, just sort of grounding your feet, rolling your shoulders back, and taking a couple of deep breaths, you'll notice how different you feel when your body leads the way. Confidence isn't always a thought first, sometimes it's a posture. And then another favorite is a confidence circle. None of us are meant to do this alone. Confidence grows in community. So surround yourself with people who see your brilliance and will remind you of it on the days you forget. These are the people who celebrate your wins, call out your blind spots, and lovingly challenge you when you're playing small. Your confidence circle might be a mentor, a friend, a coach, might just be a group of women that are walking the same path. The key is to choose relationships that lift you higher instead of pulling you down. When you have people in your corner reflecting your power back to you, it becomes easier to believe in yourself. And remember this, confidence is not about perfection, and it doesn't require you to do everything on your own. It's about daily choices, small practices, and the support of people who want to see you shine. The more you celebrate, embody, and connect, the more unshakable your confidence becomes. So here's my challenge. For the next 7 days, choose one of these practices, whether it's celebrating the small wins, feeling a physical standing tall, or leaning in on your confidence circle, and commit to it daily. By the end of the week, take a note of how you feel. Because again, confidence isn't built in a day, but it is built by what you choose to do every day. So I'll leave you with this. Confidence is not something anyone can hand you. It's something you claim. You don't need permission to take up space, and you do not need perfection to start. The best chapter of your life isn't behind you, it's the one you're writing right now with courage, clarity, and confidence. The end.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. And I love that you highlighted that you don't just wait for confidence to come,
Yeah,
right? And you don't wait till you know enough.
right.
Um, that is one of the biggest myths, absolutely, that we have. So one of the best things, I was having a conversation with Maggie Cook. I don't know if you know her, but she's an international speaker, and
Mm.
she actually has her own salsa brand
Oh,
in the States. It's called Maggie Salsa, and she's
okay.
got a wonderful story about it and all of that. So, but she's like, every time she gets paid tens of thousands of dollars for her events, and yet she still is nauseous, and she's still like cold sweat and clammy and pacing and like, why did I say I do this right before
Totally.
she gets on stage?
Yeah.
Yet people know her, people respect her, people love having her at our events, right? So don't wait.
Well, and I
Don't
think when
wait.
you're having that kind of, I didn't say this. I mean, first of all, fear is just innate, right? Like
Mhm.
we're always fearful, and that is not the problem. It's the inaction that is the problem. But I
Yes.
also think that when you're doing something you really love and you're speaking, and you're putting yourself out there, if you're not feeling a little nervous, you're probably not doing it the right thing anymore. Like you should
Right.
probably be done, right? I
Yeah.
think it tells me you've lost your passion for what you're doing.
Well, and also I always say, like, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm my own boss, but I have thousands that watch me that are
Right.
my boss, right? That
Yes,
will critique
yes.
me, that will positive and negative, right?
Yeah.
And I have to speak to them. So I wanted to touch on what you said and how it actually affects our health and how women make themselves small and
Hmm.
don't use their voice and have taught themselves that, you know, not to take too much space and don't
Hmm.
be too loud and don't be too aggressive. And actually, this can show up in our hormonal testing that I do. So if it's okay, I will
Please.
show
Yeah, I know we
examples.
talked a little bit about this. Say more, because I think this is
Yeah,
fascinating.
this is where the science meets meets the rubber. What
The mindset, the
yeah,
mindset. The science
mindset.
meets the mindset.
Yeah, okay. So what we're seeing here is our androgens, our gluteocorticoids, and our mineralocorticoids. So when I do a hormonal panel, these are some of the results that we get. This lady is 42. And I know that acute stress shows up where you are pedal to the metal. Okay, like everything is sky high, and just like your androgen that you see right here, it's
Hmm.
high,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's acute stress. Okay,
Mm.
chronic stress is when we've got nothing left in the tank. It's kind of like a
Mm.
gas meter, right? So you got nothing in the tank. And what I wanted to point out is she's been going, going, going. Women were told kind of a myth, and I love that you say you're a myth buster because we were told that we could have it all. We
Yeah.
could do be the CEO, we could run the home, we could be the mom, we could do the extracurricular, we could do all the doctor's appointments. Men wouldn't have to change a thing because we were capable, we were powerful. And that was a myth that men were told that we didn't need help, okay?
Right.
But we told it to them. It's okay, I
Yeah.
got this. Just let me enter the workforce. But we were never meant to work like that. And it shows up in our hormones. And this is why we get symptoms of hormonal imbalance. So with this lady, she's low here, she's low here, she's low here. And then low, getting low, 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 and nothing in the tank.
Wow.
So in alternative medicine, okay, not Western, okay, don't
Yep.
misquote me here. We would call this adrenal failure. And this is
Mm.
crucial for women because when we go through perimenopause and menopause or postmenopause, our adrenals take over making our hormones. We don't just like stop making them. So instead of our ovaries and our uterus making the estrogens and the progesterone, our adrenals are supposed to start doing that job again, like they did pre puberty.
Mm.
So if these are not functioning and not able to make the hormones because you are chronically stressed and you've been making yourself small and you've been fitting yourself into the box and you've been checking all the boxes of what women should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing and not living within yourself and knowing that inside that something is wrong and then not having the confidence to voice that or advocate for yourself, this is the mess that we have. So this lady wasn't sleeping. She had insomnia, but was a dead dog tired. She had the night sweats. She had the hot flashes, the brain fog, obviously the fatigue,
Yeah.
right? Like the clumsiness that we get, like adrenal systems are hugely important. And when we are not living our life the way that we were designed to, mentally, emotionally, and physically, this is the mess that we get. So that's how not trusting yourself, not believing in yourself, not having the courage to speak up when you know something, whether it's wrong, right, you just want to add to the conversation, doesn't matter. So
And
this is what happens.
well, and I think too, what strikes me is that I know so many women who are in perimenopause, menopause, and they go to their Western medicine doctor and they were just, well, you're in menopause,
You're
right?
normal. You're
Yeah.
fine.
Well, that's what happens, you know, and then we continue to silently suffer, which just then adds to the stress because we're starting to feel like we're crazy because we're feeling all these things and we're having heart palpitations and hips are hurting, all these different things. And so thank God there are practitioners like you, but then the women have to advocate for themselves to find you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, it's my co-host on the podcast, her husband is a gynecologist, and I think I was told that in medical school they get 2 hours about menopause. Two,
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And so thank God there is the alternative way of going down this route.
Well, and Western medicine does not test adrenals. They will test
Really?
they will test thyroid.
Okay.
But they will not test adrenals. And guess what controls thyroid?
So somebody has to go to an alternative
Yeah.
practitioner to be able to find out if they're in adrenal failure.
Yeah. I've had two clients now being treated for thyroid for decades. And originally, when we did their tests, their adrenals were shot. And 2 and 3 years later, their adrenals are like working and their thyroid is working better than ever. But we don't
Wow.
know whether or not it's safe for them to come off of the thyroid medication because it's been synthetically placed into the body. So the body has not actually had to actively work at producing
Wow.
right? So their absorption is way better now that their adrenals are, but I would never say stop your thyroid medication because one, I'm not a doctor. I don't
Right.
class to be. And I would want you under a doctor's supervision to do that, right? And I would want their approval first, right? So I love it when I get to work with doctors, whether they know they're working with me or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? But it's just
Yeah.
thyroid is huge. Insulin
Yeah.
resistance, I can tell you whether you're leaning down that pathway, and that's huge for perimenopausal women.
Right.
It's huge, like, and we can correct it. And to play on your part of like the education that they get for menopause, nutrition can do so much when it comes to clearing the fog and actually making us feel better. And when we feel better, we are more confident,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
doctors, nurses, they get 24 hours in their whole degree program. Okay, so doctors are 8 years, nurses are 4. 24 hours, and the rest is all optional.
Wow.
Tell me what nurse or doctor, when they're in residency, when they have exams, when they have schoolwork, is going to opt for an
Yeah.
optional course. And yet the mainstream says, talk to your doctor before you make any diet changes.
Right. Or you
Come
go
to
into your
me.
doctor and they say, "Well, you need to lose some weight."
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah.
But if your
Yeah, yeah,
adrenals
yeah.
aren't working, you can't lose weight.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
So, like,
Ah,
find the alternative people. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. Find the alternative people that resonate with you
yeah.
and get tested. Don't guess because too often and not we take the wrong things. Like I could recommend an adrenal supplement for this lady, but if she doesn't match her life, like you were saying, like
Right.
use your voice,
Yep.
we're going to hit a glass ceiling every single time.
Mm, wow. I thank you so much for sharing that because that is mind blowing to me. And and I think
Yeah.
so few people know any of that,
Yeah.
which is sad.
I want to thank you for bringing this to the awareness, right? So I do so many other things. I need other people to talk to.
I feel you.
Right.
Understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Lisa, I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart
Yeah,
for being a guest
thank
and
you.
for all of the viewers. Where can they reach you?
So they can find me at transformationforreal.com. That's my website. Or you can find me on LinkedIn at, I think it's just Lisa Callahan Coach, life coach, or so. Look me up under my name, Lisa Callahan, on LinkedIn. That's where I am. And I'm being a little bit more, I'm using my voice there a little bit more these days. So,
That's awesome. I love that. And one question I have for you is if you could recommend one thing that people just start doing right
mm,
now, what would it be?
in terms of confidence,
Hmm.
whatever the next thing you say you're going to do for yourself is, do it. Because
Ooh.
when we when we commit to something for ourselves, and oftentimes that's just an internal thought, right? Like I'm gonna reach out to Jody. I'm gonna start a diet. I'm gonna fill in the blank. And then we don't do it and we think, oh well, nobody knows. I didn't even tell anybody. But we know it. Our body knows it. And so every time we let ourselves down, we are eroding our own self-confidence. So the next thing, whatever it is, I'm going to read a book, I'm going to go to bed early, whatever you say you're going to do for yourself next, make sure you do it.
Absolutely. Say what you mean and do what you say. I love
Amen.
that. Okay, I'm going to stop the live feed. Thank you. And again, if anybody wants to reach out to Lisa, feel free. I've put in her website and follow her on LinkedIn, follow her on Facebook, like her posts, get that algorithm working.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome.